Hello and welcome to another edition of Saints Talk. Throughout the year we've had coaches and student athletes from our athletics department on, but today we are excited to be joined by Chief Fox of the St. Augustine Police Department. Thank you very much for taking some time to meet with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So we wanted to sit down with you because we have next Saturday, April 13th, against Georgia College at 2 p.m. is Law Enforcement Appreciation Day, and this is the third year in a row that we're doing it, and it's become one of our favorite events actually because of, well, obviously what the police department means to the St. Augustine community, but also it's pretty cool. We've got helicopters and skydivers and things like that.
You do, yes.
Now, this being the third year, you've been kind of involved with it at least a little bit since the inception, correct?
I have. Since the first year I was involved. Last year I had a family commitment and had some staff out there, but this year I'm really involved.
That's great.
So not to put any cats out of the bag, but they've got me really involved this year.
That's great. What I find really impressive is the coordination of it all, because we've got you guys, we've got the St. Augustine Beach Police Department, we've got Florida Highway Patrol, St. Johns County Sheriff's Office, so it's really cool collaboration of everything.
Yeah, it's the major divisions of law enforcement are involved. Yeah, and we've been trying to help grow it. You know, law enforcement community really appreciates the fact that there's that Flagler College puts this on in appreciation of the law enforcement. You know, in today's world, the headlines aren't always, you know, pro law enforcement, but you know, the men and women of St. Johns County and all of these law enforcement divisions, they love this community. That's why they're doing what they're doing, and we appreciate the fact that Flagler College steps out to do this for us.
That's actually one of the things I want to talk about in a little bit, but since you brought it up, I think it's a good time to do it. We know what this event means for us. It's because we're very appreciative of everything law enforcement does around the area. And St. Augustine is known as a little bit of a tourist destination. However, with that being said, it's still very close-knit, and there's still that kind of, you know, local community, family aspect of it. You know, St. Johns County, everyone's really connected and close. What does the relationship mean between law enforcement and the community here?
So law enforcement, the relationship with law enforcement has always been close, and it's only gotten stronger in the last couple of years, but very strong. You know, there's a dedication to our community and continuing to provide services to them. But with the school, obviously, inside my jurisdiction, Flagler College is very important to my agency. You know, there's 2,500 students over there whose parents send them off to college, and you know, we take that personal. We want them to come to a safe environment. We want them to get through their college years in a safe environment, and so we work hard to strive for that. My officers that are assigned to Flagler College work with the kids. They have coffee with the kids occasionally, and then Chief Hardwick and I participate in the freshman orientation to basically welcome them to the community, welcome them to the family, but say, listen, we understand, you know, there's a rite of passage with the college years, but you know, you got to do it within the limitations, and you still have to follow all the laws. But you know, this day means a lot to law enforcement because you know, very seldom is law enforcement really celebrated for the actions that they take within the community that don't have enforcement related to it. So usually when you hear about law enforcement, you're hearing about something that has occurred, a critical incident that has occurred.
Right.
And that's really what, you know, you hear about it. But to have an organization such as Flagler College come out and show law enforcement appreciation for those things that law enforcement does that you never hear about really means a lot to the law enforcement community. That's
an interesting topic to talk about because you're right. I feel like a lot of things you see is, you know, reactionary stuff or things like, oh, this happened, you know, we responded to it and stuff like that. But there's also stories of police officers going out and, you know, playing basketball with people in the community, and there's a lot of cool programs going on and things of that nature, and we love hearing about that stuff for sure.
Yeah, it happens every day. You know, St. Johns County is committed to its schools. We're committed to our schools. They have a great PAL program that St. Johns County runs. I know that Chief Hardwick with St. Augustine Beach is committed with his K9 Kilo to doing community efforts and working with the kids. And then my Officer Brown with my agency, he works with all the schools. He works with the Boys and Girls Club. and you know, investing in those children in those schools is one of the things that law enforcement concentrates on, because if we can penetrate into those children and really make an impact on them, that changes their life going forward, and they don't, when they come to the paths in their future, hopefully they continue to stay on the right path.
That's great. Now, speaking of the Law Enforcement Appreciation Day, it's actually become one of our bigger events throughout the year because of all that goes into it, and it's so cool because first of all, I enjoy seeing the vehicles out there, especially the old classic ones. I kind of like those classic law enforcement vehicles. So that's really cool to see out there. But we got so much going on. Last year with a skydiver with the American flag come down. We had a helicopter landing in the outfield, and at one point, one of my favorite things, of course, is the bagpipes. We had bagpipes out there too, and I believe they actually did the national anthem, if not last year, first year. So there's a lot of different things that people won't usually get to see happening at this event. What's your favorite part of the day?
Really my favorite part of the whole day is actually interacting with the kids in the community. Seeing the law enforcement agencies together is great, and but we usually see each other on critical incidents,
right.
So we don't really get to interact on such an appreciation type thing, and on such a low scale thing. But seeing them interact together, but more importantly is actually getting involved with the community and actually being able to talk to people, have people approach us and talk to us, because when we're driving around in cars, we're not approachable in cars. But for the first time out here at this Appreciation Day, there's stands full of people. They're engaging. Hopefully, we're engaging and approachable. And law enforcement's not in uniform, but they are identified. Most of them aren't. Some of them will be. And just having the community come up and talk to them, and not feel like they're unapproachable is one of the more important things, and one of the greater benefits we get from that.
Great. So kind of piggybacking off of that a little bit, approachability is one of the things that I've really enjoyed about the event. I remember the first year we had a Little League baseball team come through, and police officers and law enforcement officers were talking to them, and the kids were looking at the different law enforcement vehicles. Yeah. So I think that is a really cool thing about it. I don't know if a Little League team would get that opportunity on another day or something like that.
So through the PAL program, a lot of the coaches with the PAL program are law enforcement, because it's run through St. John's County Sheriff.
Okay, great.
So, but there's not enough law enforcement to go around. So, and they don't see them in their official capacity in the uniform.
Right.
Kids want to see them in the uniform. It's like a cape.
Yeah.
And that's all right, because that's what we want. We want to have that positive impact. But outside of a Appreciation Day, this particular day, some of these kids won't see law enforcement unless there's an incident going on.
Right.
And which is why the three agencies strive to try to build upon these types of programs where there's positive interaction with kids in reference to their contacts with law enforcement. Because at that point we can continue to build those relationships, build upon those relationships, and those things truly will affect them as they go forward in the future.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I really come to appreciate about this day, because you have a lot of promotional events throughout the year: basketball, baseball, softball, things like that. And you look at it ostensibly, you're like, oh, cool, this is going on, that's going on, maybe free T-shirts, or for this day, oh, there's a helicopter coming down, that's so cool. But it's more than that, because there is kind of a connection that really between the fans that come out to Drizzle Field, the kids that come to Drizzle Field, and law enforcement, and we hope everybody has a good time for that on all sides. Yeah,
absolutely. The cars and the helicopters, that kind of brings everybody there. But what law enforcement's really looking for is that connection and that communication with the citizens of St. Augustine, Flagler College, the kids that come out to see those toys, but to actually physically interact with the officers and understand that our role is the enforcement of laws.
Right.
But we don't want to be seen as that always being that adversarial function, and so we always take the opportunity to penetrate in some positive manner. such as these types of days.
That's great. Now, finally here, do you have any ball players on staff? I'm just curious. The
Baseball.
Fences out there are actually pretty accurate in terms of what you would see at maybe some major league parks. Could anybody hit one out?
We have a one college level baseball player.
Oh, cool.
We do. He did. He played some balls somewhere up north. Ryan Rado.
Oh, that's awesome.
And we have a lot of baseball fans. I actually do a spring trip with 3 or 4 officers from here, and we go down and do about 4 or 5 baseball games in
that's
in
cool.
2 days down in the Tampa area.
That's
so we
cool.
do that every year. And so yeah, we've got some baseball fans, and we do have some baseball players. You know, we always get asked, hey, let's do a charity baseball game, or softball game. Listen, they may love it, they may have played it one time, but you know, the injuries that can be sustained from them doing that, causes concern. So, but they do love interacting, and there has been some talk about doing charity things like that. I'm not completely opposed to it.
Yeah.
There's always that, man, I hope this thing's over and no one gets hurt kind of thing.
I tell you, I played sports growing up, and at this stage of my life, if I had to go back into it, I just pray, hey, just get through this without a pulled hammy or worse. Because you think you can just jump back in there.
Yeah,
but
you don't heal either,
it's like, we'll see what happens.
But yeah, we do have some fans, and I do have a college level.
That's really cool.
I have a young man that works here that played some college ball, and a great young man doing a great job. So
that's great.
Yeah, they do it. I have some that travel quite often up to Atlanta to see ball games. They actually were on TV catching a home run.
No way!
A couple years back. So yeah. So it was it's interesting. Baseball and Flagler College. You know, our undefeated Saints in football, we always go with that, right?
Well, of course.
I mean, you know what I mean? If we were UCF, we could proclaim a national championship, right?
That's how you do it these days. That's how you do it.
Yeah. But, you know, we support Flagler College and want to get more involved with Flagler College and continue to do some programs with them. But, yeah, I mean, Flagler College is the hometown team, right?
Absolutely.
You know, compared to, you know, during football, we have all our high school teams that do great, and you know, the county school program is you know, still one of the best in the state. So yeah, no, it's a great relationship. We hope to continue to build upon it and see what good things can come out of it. So.
Yeah, we're really looking forward to it. It's next Saturday. Flagler baseball team is playing Georgia College, 2 p.m. and we're probably going to get things going a little earlier as far as Law Enforcement Appreciation Day is concerned. So make sure you get there early, whether it's 15 minutes or half an hour, so you can see all the fun stuff that's going on. Because it's going to be a blast, as it has been, and we just can't wait to see where it goes, because it keeps getting better and better.
It does, and there's a big surprise in this one this year.
Well,
not for many people but me.
Okay, we're going to use our imaginations for now, but we will get to see what that is on April 13th,
yeah,
and there's plenty to look forward to. So really, thank you for taking some time to join us, and it was a pleasure.
No problem, I appreciate it, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.